With the news coming out of Bostin Loyd's passing at the young age of 29, listen, it really is. It's a terrible, terrible thing. He has been dealing with some health issues, mostly kidney issues for the last 2 years. But it's still, when you hear something like this, and especially somebody that you know, it's like, wow, it kind of really hits home. And people are going to say what they want to say. They're going to do an autopsy and find out the actual cause of death. It's nobody's business unless the family decides to release that. Now, Bostin was a columnist for Muscle Sport Mag for about 7 years. I mean, he was on the cover of the fall 2015 issue, been writing a column ever since. His wife, Ariella Palumbo, also was a guest columnist for us. She did a few columns in the magazine a few years back. Bostin brought Tyler Musclehead Bauman into the Muscle Sport Mag columnist family. So, I mean, I just really very sad to hear about this. And regardless of why, and people can, Monday morning quarterback all you want, now is not the time for that. Now is the time for the family to do what they need to do. And it's really sad to see that, because Ariella and Bostin have a young, beautiful toddler. Braxton is the boy's name, and most of the conversations that I had with Bostin wasn't about bodybuilding, columns, steroids. Who gives a shit about that? It was about family and stuff, and I would give him sometimes some just different things. Wow, you're going through what I went through. It reminds me, you're posting it on Instagram or Facebook, stuff you're doing with your son. And I remember I went through it twice with 2 young adult kids now, and I would tell him wait till Little League and things like that. It's so much fun to do these things with your child, and unfortunately that family will not get to experience that. So my heart goes out to all of them. And Bostin was very tight with his whole family. His parents, John Loyd and Marie Raia, they're both bodybuilders. He always had photos with the family there, and with the baby and everything. And it's really a sad day, for the Loyd family. And my heart goes out to them, and it really sucks. But it was funny because I was putting the article together for the website, and I'm looking at seeing what's Bostin's last column he wrote for us. Now this is just came out, this issue. It's volume 13, number 1, and this really freaked me out because Bostin's column is deaths in bodybuilding, and I totally forgot that under the circumstances that when because in production and magazines, I spoke to Bostin a couple of months ago about that. So then. It's been crazy, with Roden and all of that. So I was like, that's a good idea. Run with it, man. Go with it. And Big George Peterson and all of that. So that unfortunately is the topic of Bostin's column. In his last column for Muscle Sport Mag was about deaths in bodybuilding. It's just kind of a little eerie, kind of makes it even a little more sad for me to look at that and say, oh shit, this fucking poor guy is part of that now. But anybody's gonna knock him now, go fuck yourselves. You're a bunch of fucking assholes if you do. You didn't know the guy. The guy was a good guy. Just because he liked to use juice and was open about it and was critical of other people and stuff, so what? Big fucking deal, you know what? But let's all say a prayer for the Loyd family, and it's very sad to see this as a fellow parent, to see what his spouse and his child eventually, as he gets older, is gonna deal with without having dad there. So rest in peace, Bostin Loyd, and we'll update you when we hear more about this. And he's always going to be part of the MSM family.